Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today while I share the new planner that I've moved into for 2023. If you've been following me for some time, you might remember that I started this year in the A5 size Take a Note. And the Take a Note is an absolutely beautiful planner, but I did have a kind of rough start to planning in general in 2023. I did film a whole video that talked about my planner discontent to start the year and how, for me, that has largely been related to my mental health. When I'm in a low mood, it can be very hard for me to want to get into my planner. And so what I typically do is try to make it as easy on myself as possible. I had hoped for 2023 that having this structured planner but still with more space than the B6 Wonderland 222 I was in last year, that this would be a great solution for me. And don't get me wrong, this planner is absolutely beautiful. I love pretty much everything about it. It just wasn't quite fitting for me. And as I chatted about in that video, it was mostly mood related. And I had considered a number of other planner options to switch to, but nothing stood out for me. And that's how I knew that it was more so the mood than the planner. But I did come across a new to me planner that I was excited about. And that was the first planner I had really been excited about this year and could actually see myself moving into. So that's what I did. I'll chat a little bit about why this wasn't quite working for me aside from the mood. And I think the biggest thing is that when I was in this planner, I was too worried about the end product. And it felt performative to me. And it's funny because I was barely even on here sharing with you guys. But even though I had more space in the dailies, I knew that it was still limited. So I was kind of always thinking about what it would look like when it was filled in. So that stopped me from being in and out of it throughout the day. I was considering, sticker placement and if I wanted to do a quote and layouts. And don't get me wrong, I have done that in the past and I have loved it, but I was not loving it this year. It was making me stressed and just honestly not even wanting to be in here. So you'll see that reflected more in March. I did use this for the first quarter of the year. And honestly, I would still be in this if I hadn't come across the new planner. But once I realized that I was trying to work backwards and it was impacting how much I enjoyed being in here, I just switched it up and went just to, well, nothing here, but just to kind of scribbly writing. I didn't put any stickers down except for the ones that had already been there. And this worked much, much better. This felt so refreshing to me. And like I said, I could have continued in here like this and been totally fine. And that's what I would have done had I not come across the Papertess Designs B6 yearly planner. So from my understanding, this is the first year that Tess has released any planners, and I didn't hear about it in 2022. So I am late to the game. She does have detailed videos on the specifics of the planner itself, so I can link that in her shop below because I'll be sharing how I use this, but I don't have all the specific details at hand, like grid size, etc. This is a B6 size. It is the full year, so it is quite thick. And this is the sand colored cover. It is a really soft texture that feels lovely in the hand. But from what I understand, it can pick up oils from your leather covers if that's what you keep it in. I just got a new leather cover and I will share it at the end of the video, but it is already starting to transfer here. That doesn't bother me at all. She does also offer a clear vinyl cover in collaboration with Catspresso Co., but just something to note. It has the rose gold foiling on the edges. And let's just dive right in. The reason that I was so excited about this planner is if you watch me for a while, you'll know that I do not love flipping back and forth between different sections throughout my planner. I don't know if I'm just lazy or it's a mental block, but I just don't do it. So I know this about myself, and that is why I didn't try the sterling ink common planner because you're flipping from the week sections to the back. That's why I've never tried the Hobonichi Weeks as a bullet journal, even though I've always wanted to. I know that flipping back and forth for me just won't work. And tons of people do it successfully and it's amazing and I'm jealous, but it's not for me and I know that already. So this planner is set up differently. I will show you a blank month first and then I'll flip through and show you guys how I've been using it. So I started this in April and I have not gone back and back planned. I don't think that I will, maybe a very little bit, but I'll chat about that as I go. So you start with a monthly. I love this spread. I love how much space there is here. Then you have a blank spread after to do whatever you'd like. And then you get a horizontal weekly overview, a blank column, and 7 blank pages with the idea that you can have a page per day. And to me, this is perfect. I love that I have the freedom of these blank pages to really go into my bullet journaling style, but I also have the structure of this dated section so that I can plan ahead, or if I don't get into my dailies, I can still scribble something in here and that's enough. And yes, one of the drawbacks that I considered was I don't see myself using all 7 of these blank pages every week, but I never really finish the notes section at the back of a notebook either, and that doesn't hold me back. So I just went for it and I am so glad that I have. Okay, now that you've seen kind of the basic structure, let's start from the beginning. I always love my end pages to have some words, almost always from Brandi Kincaid. She speaks to me. So this was a printable from one of her newsletters she had sent out with some old stickers and washi tape that I had. I've mentioned that my word for 2023 is change. So I have stamped this quote here on this beautiful paper that my friend Maria at A Paper Life had given me, as well as my name. This planner has the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, and I did not think it would make such a difference to me, but that was my least favorite part about the Take a Note planner, is that it had the 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. I don't know if it's because the first time I ever used this kind of paper was with the Hobonichi, so it was 52 as well, but I definitely prefer this. The thinness of it, just the crinkle, everything about it. So I am so happy to be back in a planner with 52 GSM. Then we move to what is a blank spread here. I actually did something I've never done before, and I tipped in a piece of paper. This is just from a Rhodia dot grid pad that I had lying around. And I'm going to use this as my index. I just wanted the flexibility to see if I even use this, and if not, I can take it out, but also just to feel like I have a lot of space. And one of the things about this notebook that I would personally change if I could is that these pages throughout the year are not numbered. So for someone like me who wants to embed their collections throughout, I had to figure out how I could reference them. And so what I decided is that you have each week here. So the week of December 26th to January 1st, or you can do the week number. And I decided that that's just how I would do it. So I have the week of, I'm doing it by like the date and not the week number, because I'll look at week 26 and I'll have no idea when that is. So I know that in the week of April 3rd, I did a little collection or spread on balanced journaling. And that's fine. I don't mind doing a little bit of flipping through, but I didn't want to have to try and parse the entire notebook to find what could be, half a page of notes. So I think this will work great. This is a little bear sticky note that has moved with me from my planner last year. And then we get the 2023 yearly overview. I love Tess's choices in this planner. I love her style, how minimal it is. And it feels elegant to me, but in a really simple way. So I love the font choices. I love how light everything is. And that's something to note. If you're someone who has difficulty with a light grid, this might not be the planner for you. I personally love it. It's a light enough gray that I can see it perfectly fine, but it's not obtrusive to me. But I have seen that some people say it's a little bit light for their eyes, so just something to keep in mind. And so on her yearly overview, she has 6 months per page here, a little monthly calendar, as well as the week number here. I'm using this in a couple of ways. I'm using the mini calendars to track my cycle. So this is just done with a Zig Clean Color Dot, but I might just use whatever I have on hand. And then I'm also doing some social media tracking here. So you've seen this before. I don't change things up too much. I have Instagram, YouTube, and if I make any revenue from AdSense, and then any videos that I've posted that month. And yeah, there you have it. Simple, easy. I did go back and fill these in from the first quarter of the year, and I think this spread will be functional, which is really all I want from it. Then we move into this yearly index. So I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to use this yet. Again, this is beautiful. It's simple. She has the weekends highlighted here with gray circles. It looks just like my clean gray dot here. In my take a note, I had started using these sections as kind of doodle memories, which I did really, really like. So I don't know if I will transfer this over or do something completely different, but I have given myself permission to just get in here and use this, set up the sections that I needed, and everything else will follow, or it won't. And that's fine too. So we have quarter 1, quarter 2, she labels it, quarter 3, and quarter 4. And you'll notice too, she has kind of this heading space at the top of the pages. So for these pre-printed pages, that's where she has her titles, but it also has this space throughout all of the blank pages. I actually quite like that. I haven't really used it for headings, I don't think. We'll see as we flip through, but it doesn't bother me at all. Then we get into December of 2022. She has a blank spread after that, and then into this year. I think I'm probably going to glue these together. So I just have 2 blank spreads, and then I'll probably do my color palette for the year here. And well, that's all I can think of. So that's all I'll do for now. But obviously I haven't done that yet. Okay, so here we are with the monthly spread. You can see the calendar itself is on the smaller side so that there's quite a bit of space around it. I really like that. I don't use the boxes too much. I just use it for birthdays, appointments, things like that. I haven't actually used this section either in any of the months, but I like that it's there. So it's a Monday start. You have the number of the month, the name of the month, and down here you do have the week numbers. I went back through to each of the monthly sections and I put in birthdays and appointments that I had completed just to have that all together. And I also went and did my reflections and look ahead spreads because I love those and just the memories that they hold. I have not gone through and back planned any of the dailies or weeklies. I'm not sure that I will. If anything, I think I might just go through and jot something in each of these kind of pre-made spreads and not worry about the blank pages. They can just be extra note pages for me. But I'm not giving myself any pressure for this. I figure maybe I'll sit down through some baseball games if I feel like it and go for it. And if not, they'll just stay blank, and that is also totally fine. This is January. I just doodled in my little birthday presents because I wanted them tiny. I do my appointments still in red. And you'll see I have played around with this spread somewhat on the 3 months that I've completed so far. I never actually did a moving into January look ahead, so, there's nothing there. That's fine. But I did do, my usual prompts from Zoe Diaz-McLeese, and I really like having this spread. I think this might end up being kind of a brain dump page, memories of some sort. Honestly, I don't have any plans for that. If it's just this every month, totally fine with me. And I'm using the same tabs that I did last year from Planner Monkey Co. This is her minimal script. It's transparent and tiny, I believe, and I put it on clear Post-its so that I can fiddle with it as I line it up and move it if necessary. I considered using the typewriter font again. That's what I used in the A5 size Take a Note, and I absolutely love this. But this planner to me just feels a little bit, I don't know, romantic, if that makes sense. So I love how the script looks there. I also didn't realize how much I prefer having the months embedded throughout the planner. Again, because I started with the Hobonichi weeks, I always thought that I'd prefer to have all the months together at the front. But no, after the Wonderland 222, I used it all of last year. I just love being able to flip to the month and to have everything right behind it. And you know what? There you go again. That is probably a function of me not liking to flip back and forth through things. So that was another drawback of the Take a Note for me, and something I am really, really happy with in this Papertess Designs. Okay, so we did January, then we have February just completed. Oh, I'm using the stickers from Planner Monkey Co. with the same font to put in the holidays. So this planner doesn't come with any holidays, which is always my preference. I like putting them in, especially because you can choose which ones you celebrate or are important to you, so on. This is how I tried February's look ahead and reflection spread. Oh, I called it moving into February for this year, and February reflections. So this is just the color that I've chosen for the month. And then I'm using my favorite gray Tombos that you'll see throughout. So this really light one, I don't even know if you can see, is N89, and you'll see N79 as well throughout. So nothing in the February pages. We move to March. And this is still the N89. It's just me going over it twice. So there you go. I like how this looks too. I haven't done April's yet, so we will see how that turns out. And then we move into April. So here, oh, I have those appointments done. I can color that in. I was trying to cover a specific teacher's days off. So she had told me them in advance. I had jotted them in there and I was able to get in for her. So that was wonderful. And then we move into the month that I have actually used. Another thing that I knew coming into this planner, which I carried over from the Take a Note, is that I didn't want this one to feel performative. I didn't want to worry about stickers or washi or anything like that. So I got a pen, and that is all I have been using here, a pen and my Tombow of the month. So the pen that I'm using is the Acroball 0.5. This is a multi-pen because it has all the colors that I use for color coding. So I'll use black for my daily writing, blue I'm using for any events or special occasions, red is for my appointments, and it does also have a pencil as well. I don't prefer this pencil. The lead's a little bit thick, but I love knowing I can use it in a pinch. This has also been the most consistent ballpoint pen for me that I've used in years. For whatever reason, the Uni Jetstream skips so much for me, especially if my hand touches the paper, which, I mean, the way I hold my pen and the fact that I don't always remember to get blotting paper is, you know, my hand touches the paper a lot. So a pen needs to be able to write on top of that. And this one has been really, really good for me so far. A little bit thick, but I don't think I'd want to go any thinner. Anyways, I know I keep saying this, but if you follow me for an even longer time, you might remember my bullet journal and how much I love that. And this might look very familiar to you. So I'm using this as an overview. So any, holidays, these are also from Planner Monkey Co. I'm using the typewriter stickers here because I already have them. Any specific tasks that need to be done on a day go in here. And then I have a running weekly to-do list. After that, I have divided this into 2 columns. So these lines are just drawn with pencil. This is my Tombow for the month, and I am bullet journaling my way through this notebook. I am so happy with this. It is literally just pen, my little signifiers, and paper. Oh, okay, I lied to you. I will include a tiny bit of ephemera. I've only done it on 2 spreads so far. This just came in an order from Jet Pens. I love Studio Ghibli, so Calcifer here is So cute. Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite. But here I did some notes on balanced journaling from one of Ryder Carroll's videos. And this is the one that I referenced in my index. So the week of April 3rd, balanced journaling. Here it is. Yeah, I watched the video, I made my notes, and then I carried on with my next daily. I took some ideas from this video where he suggested writing like a small victory from each day and something you're grateful for. So I added a couple of new signifiers for that. And it's still becoming a habit. It's not totally consistent yet. At the end, I did a weekly reflection here. This is also actually from that balanced journaling video. I liked his suggestions there, so I incorporated the ones that make sense for me. So this is just looking back at your week, kind of brain dumping about it, and then looking at it objectively, noticing any trends, what you might need more of, less of, and I came up with a couple of action steps for myself. Next week, Blue Jays, a home opener. Yes, that deserved a place over here. I did use a little sticker here. And I haven't seen very many people using this planner yet, but someone whose video I did watch and love on YouTube is Caylee Grey. And she had a video of how she'd used the first month or few months in this planner, and I loved it. I loved her like lettering styles and stuff too, so this one was inspired by that. Honestly, you're going to see I kept it simple here, exact same style. I play with some lettering throughout. And look at this week. I only used 1, 2, 3 pages for the entire week. And that's totally fine. That's how much I needed, so that's how much I used. Here, oh, spoiler alert for the cover I'm going to show you. I was working on a custom cover from Evangelia at Elysian Paper. So these are some of the sketches that I had made. So sometimes I will do titles up here. I just swatch my Tombow and nothing ended up going here. Totally fine. My weekly reflection. Oh, this week I was trying something a little bit different. I just wanted to try splitting the page horizontally. And I'm kind of giving myself permission to try new things, but sticking with it for at least a week to reduce kind of any sort of micro decision fatigue. I'll try it. Even if I don't like it, I'll try it for the week. I mean, if it's not working, I'm not going to force it, but I'll just keep going with it for a week and remind myself that I can change it the next week. Some Instagram brainstorming. I do like practicing my lettering like this as well. I do prefer, though, I definitely prefer columns. It's just my style more, but it's fun to flip through these pages as well. And here I had set up for weekly reflection and it didn't happen. That's fine. I continue on. Same with this week. I made this spread, didn't end up putting any actual tasks on it. That's okay. So those were some classroom days that I wanted to make notes on. I do like to actually do that. If I'm color coding it, I like to have that in blue, or you'll see some red ones coming up as well. Oh, this day, my dad and I went to a Jays game, and I haven't been to a baseball game in person since, well, obviously before the pandemic, but even before that, I think it had been a couple of years. So it was really, really fun. And yeah, I saved my popcorn bag because it was adorable and not too buttery, thankfully, to keep in here. I printed out a picture of my dad and I, as well as a picture of the kind of, virtual ticket they send you. I used my Pulley printer for these. It's not the best quality printer, but the thought of having to copy the picture and put it into a Word document and then try and find some other pictures so I wasn't wasting a whole page to print it just regularly from my printer was so overwhelming. I just didn't want to do it. And I thought about using my Sprocket, but that's so thick. And I thought, you know what? Even if this isn't the best quality, it's better than no picture, which is what is going to happen if you don't print this right now with your Pulley. So I did. It's adorable. I wrote a little caption, so I remember, and there we go. Just all the memories, the final score. And I love this spread, and I love that I could make this spread right in the middle of my weeks. Like, look at those, ended up being a column each, and then this whole spread. So super, super fun, and I love having these memories in here. And then we come to this current week. It's Sunday today, so again, you'll see red. So I had 2 appointments back to back. I had some notes from each, a little sketch of my new cover. Oh, this is what I've been using to help me remember to do the gratitude and victory habit I'm trying to get into. I just call it a victory, like a small victory from each day. And you know, sometimes it's something very, very small. Totally fine. So this just moves with me. Here I'll end up with probably both these pages. I will try to do a weekly reflection tonight. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And then we're going to move into May. If something comes up to be scheduled in the future, as in not the month I'm currently in, I'll just flip ahead and write it in pencil. I do also put it into my Google Calendar, so it's somewhere more firm, but things change, so I just like to ink this in when I'm setting up for May. So I still have to do that. When I set up for May, I basically just mean I'm going to ink these in, and I will set up my moving into May and May reflections prompts just so that they're ready to go, and I have to go back and do April's as well. So that is how the monthlies go. So we've got December there, and then there are also some note pages at the back. So you'll see I have some other tabs back here, and these are from the Coffee Monsters Co. So I have the glasses here to help me flip right to the notes section. I did the same thing. I put Helen's tabs on a Post-it again so I could fiddle with them and just bump them in a little bit. I don't like my tabs to stick out too far. So Tess provides an index reference page here. Aren't these fonts just beautiful? I really love it. And then these back pages are actually numbered. So she has 1 through 27 here. So this is just me counting out the grid spacing. You might have seen I did also do a grid spacing page here, just a very simple one. This is how I do my columns for my dailies, just so I know what the count is. This first spread is just a when did I last spread. Then I have one of my favorite spreads in any planner, my baseball tracker. I love how this turned out. I love that the season's off to a good start. This one I did tab with a exclamation point in blue, so I can easily flip to this to track. Left this blank, and then I made a spread for video tracking. I'm trying to get more consistent with my videos, guys, but I'm not quite sure what to film all the time. So if you do have any suggestions or anything you'd like to see from me, please do feel free to let me know in the comments. What I've done here is I went through, I made my little calendars. This is where I use the 2 different gray Tombow colors. I have the weeks, and then what I did is I put in these, can you even see? Yeah. I have this Post-it labeling and cover up tape, and I've seen Sarah Martinez use this for years. So I finally got some myself, and it's great. Post-it brand is really, really good. So I just, you know, tore them off. And the reason I did it like this is just so that I can move them if I don't get to film when I want to, which, let's be real, guys, is always going to happen. Like, look at this. I wanted to have my Papertess design set up done the week of April 10th. So here we are on April 30th, and I will adjust that. What I think I'll probably do is actually write directly on the page once the video is posted. But this just gives me some flexibility for future planning, because if I don't future plan, I'm just really inconsistent. So I have those 4 there, and that's all for now. I'm not even feeling precious about these because I have those extra 3 months at the beginning, but also just because I have those pages every week that I can use, and I know it'll be very rare that I use 1 full page per day. So I like that. That's what I was looking for, was some structure, but a lot of freedom. And this feels like such a good fit for me. This last one I have, the last tab, is the little pencil, and that's just for pen tests. I will probably, it's not even pen tests. Some of them are pen tests, but some of them is just playing around with fonts. Because I'm not using stickers at all right now, I do like to play with my writing, so I've been playing around with kind of different brush pens and pens to see how it looks, how I'd like to use them. And I think I'll do more of this, but I'll probably bump it into the unused monthlies just so I have more space. And that is the Papertess Designs B6 planner. I really, really love this planner. One other thing I'll mention though is that I did have it in the vinyl cover and it fits beautifully, but it was starting to, can you see here, like tear a little bit at the stress point, and not the cover itself. The cover itself is fine, and more, I guess, at the back than here, but I can still see a teeny bit, and it's not a deal breaker for me. And from what I understand, Tess has actually changed the binding for the newest releases she has coming out, so it's likely something that she's aware of. And sometimes I think it just happens with books that are this thick. So after I realized that, I just kept the back cover in the vinyl cover and the front one just loose, and that was totally fine. And when I had designed my leather cover for this, I originally thought I wanted both sides in it like a folio, but then changed it up so that I could have just the back slipped in. So let me grab my cover to show you. This is from Elysian Paper. Evangelia is a maker in Greece, and I first saw her work on Little Rach Plans' page, and my friend Cecilia at Scientist Plans has a beautiful custom in shades of blue, of course. And so I reached out to work with her to make this cover, and I am so happy with it. I knew I wanted something simple. Like I said, I originally wanted to have it slip in on both sides, and it's sized so that it can do that, but I'm not going to, just because I don't want to stress the cover of the Papertess designs. So I kept it really simple. We have the 2 straight pockets, and I just asked for these credit card slits because I know myself, and the only stickers that I'll really want to keep in there are ones of this size, so the Paper Bits Co. samplers and the Planner Monkey Co. transparent minis. So those fit beautifully. And then other than that, when I'm using stickers, I love this little Midori folder, and that will also slip in perfectly. So it is beautiful. The only thing that I would probably change for my next cover from her is she does these beautiful wavy pockets. And I had a miscommunication on my end, totally mine, but I forgot to make clear that I would love this pocket here to be wavy. So I would just ask for that next time, but I already got a beautiful wavy pocket on the front. I asked her to do the stitching all around just because I love this type of stitching. This, to me, this cover, I wanted it to feel like it goes with this planner. And this, like I said, it feels kind of romantic to me, but not in a fussy way. And I don't know, I just feel like this is the same. So this is the mocha leather, and this is her deep salmon. It's like a super thin and stretchy leather. I didn't get any pen loops. I figured I could put them in here if I wanted. And yeah, this is almost like, look at this. This is a textural delight. Both leathers are very soft. This one is like suede-like, and just something I can see myself playing with in a soothing kind of way. So let me just slip the back cover in here so you can see the fit. So I wanted it nice and close with a teeny bit of room to grow, and I needed it to mostly protect my tabs, which you have here. This color here, this color pocket, is almost the same color as this rose gold foiling when it catches the light. So again, I could just put this on here if I wanted. I should probably do this before I put the elastic on, but... And there you go. I'm really happy. This feels really good in the hand. It's soft. Both of these leathers are soft in different ways, but it smells amazing. And yeah, her work is beautiful. So I will definitely link her shop as well. And like I said, she was so great and so patient with me. You should have heard the questions that I had about her leathers and everything. And she sent me some samples, and all of her leathers feel really great. So this is my new system for 2023. I am not typically someone who switches planners or planner hops, but switching it up this year felt like something I wanted and needed to do, and I am really glad that I gave myself permission to do that. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And I'd also love to know how your planner is working out for you this year, if you've made any changes, or if you've been happy in the system that you're in. And again, if you do have any YouTube video ideas or suggestions or something you'd like to see from me, please do feel free to let me know. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I'm really happy to share this with you. I haven't been intentionally keeping this to myself, but it is always more fun to share. Take care, and I'll see you next time.